In April 1975, the world watched as South Vietnam collapsed in a matter of weeks. Despite having one of the largest standing armies in the world and a stockpile of American equipment, cities fell without major battles, and Saigon, once the heart of U.S. influence in Southeast Asia, was captured with shocking ease. How did it all fall apart so quickly? Following the U.S. withdrawal in 1973, South Vietnam's military, the Army of the Republic of Vietnam, ARVN, was left to defend the country alone. On paper, it looked strong, over 1 million troops, thousands of tanks and aircraft, and years of American training. Yet beneath the surface, the system was fragile. Morale was shaky. Corruption was rampant. And most importantly, the South Vietnamese forces depended heavily on continued U.S. aid. After President Nixon signed the Paris Peace Accords in 1973, U.S. combat troops left Vietnam. Nixon had promised South Vietnam continued support, but following the Watergate scandal and Nixon's resignation in 1974, that promise collapsed. Congress drastically cut aid, by 75%, leaving the ARVN short on fuel, ammunition, spare parts, and maintenance. The powerful U.S. air cover that had once protected South Vietnam was gone. Without American backup, the ARVN was exposed. Inside the country, the leadership was crumbling. President Nguyen Van Thieu led a government plagued by corruption and poor decision-making. Loyalty, not merit, decided promotions. Soldiers were often underpaid or unpaid entirely. Officers hoarded resources. The average soldier lacked confidence, and civilians began to lose hope. Many feared that the U.S. had abandoned them, and they weren't wrong. In early 1975, North Vietnam launched the Ho Chi Minh Campaign, a final, full-scale assault designed to bring a quick end to the war. The offensive began in the Central Highlands with stunning success. South Vietnamese troops panicked and began retreating in disorganized chaos, leaving behind weapons, vehicles, and even civilians. Within weeks, the North had taken over key cities like Hue and Da Nang. The ARVN, lacking coordination, crumbled. Commanders were confused or paralyzed. Some troops surrendered without firing a shot. Fear swept through the country faster than the North's tanks. Town after town fell, often without resistance. By late April, the situation was hopeless. Refugees flooded the roads, trying to escape the advancing North Vietnamese army. President Thieu resigned and fled, leaving a leadership vacuum. The new president, Nguyen Van Minh, had no time or power to stop the inevitable. As North Vietnamese tanks closed in on Saigon, the U.S. began a desperate helicopter evacuation of its embassy staff and South Vietnamese allies. On April 30, 1975, Saigon fell. North Vietnamese tanks crashed through the gates of the presidential palace. President Minh surrendered unconditionally. The war was over. The rapid collapse of South Vietnam shocked the world. Many asked, how could such a powerful military fall so quickly? The answer lies not just in weapons or manpower, but in trust, morale, leadership, and sustained support. Without U.S. aid, with poor leadership, and lacking the will to keep fighting, South Vietnam was defeated not just on the battlefield, but in spirit. The fall of Saigon marked not just the end of a war, but the end of an era. It remains one of the most dramatic and tragic collapses in modern military history, a stark reminder that a war's outcome isn't always decided by numbers alone.